Sirach chapter 40, verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. I want to give all praises and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, forgive me the spirit, to do this lesson. Now in this lesson, I'm going into the fear of the Lord, okay, is as a fruitful garden, okay? The fear of the Lord is as a fruitful garden, okay? And you can tell right away I got that from this scripture that I just read, all right? And it's really a heavy scripture, okay? If you're spiritual, you can see how heavy this scripture is and how beneficial it is to pay attention to the scripture, man, okay? And actually make it manifest in your life in this truth, okay? Even though you're going through hell, even though it's a tightrope, even though you got a fire on one side, you got a deep water on the other side, and the water splash and the fire heating up, and you're like, oh shit, you know, it gets hard in this truth, okay? But when you sit down and examine yourself and you really want to improve in the spirit, okay, this is a great place to start. Let's read it again. Sirach chapter 40, verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. Above all glory. Okay, so when you talk about the glory, you want the glory. Okay, the fear of the Lord is as a fruitful garden. Okay, because we know the fear is what? The root of wisdom. Wisdom is the power. Okay, wisdom comes from the throne of Yahweh. Okay, of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and it comes down here to us, to comfort us, to give us mysteries, to give us understanding, to keep us stable, to keep us calm, to give us a sound mind. All right? The fear of the Lord is as a fruitful garden. Okay, so that fear being that root, the more fear, the more fruitful you're going to be, because the more rooted you're going to be. Okay? The better roots, the stronger roots, the more nutrients you're going to gather, okay? Which represents the wisdom, spiritual things, okay? And all those spiritual things is going to do what? Make you fruitful, man, okay? Like a fruitful garden. Let's go to Sirach chapter 1, verse 20. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life, okay? Branches. Okay, thereof are long life, okay, fruitful branches. I mean, you're going to be filled with fruit everywhere, man. Okay, you ever seen a tree that got fruit? If you ever seen a tree that bears fruit in real life, and when it's healthy and blooming, man, fruit is everywhere, man, overflowing. All right, so think about that. Okay, now it reminds me, okay, now that I'm on this topic in the spirit, it reminds me of John chapter 15. All right, when Yahushua was speaking. Now you will see as I read how it connects to the fear of the Lord, okay, being as a fruitful garden, okay. It goes right hand in hand with John 15. So let's start from verse 1. Not going to read the whole chapter, but I read the majority of it, okay. John chapter 15, verse 1. I am the true vine. This is Yahushua speaking, all right? And my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. You hear that? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. Now when we go back to Sirach 40:27, the fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, is when your fear of the Lord is not there. Okay, he'll cast you off. You know, the Lord is very fair and merciful and long-suffering, okay? But if you don't have no fear and you cannot examine yourself when you're not fearing correctly and you're off and you're tripping, if you can't get back up from that and you refuse to through pride, especially when the counsel reaches out to you through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and you don't take heed to that, okay, and you just go do your own thing in your own mind with your own understanding, the scriptures say, lean not to your own understanding, but depart from evil, right? So the Lord, man, he can just do away with you, man, because you're not taking heed. You're not fearing. Okay, which means you're not being fruitful. Okay, so you see how that connects? Let's go back to John chapter 15. Okay, verse 2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. You're not fearing. Okay, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now your fear is on point. You're fearing the Lord. You're diving more into fearing the Lord. You're understanding what the fear of the Lord is. Okay, like it says in Psalms 34, come, let me teach you the fear of the Lord. So we have to learn the fear of the Lord and understand the benefit of fearing the Lord, man. It is huge. It ain't just, oh, I fear the Lord. No, it's huge, man. What comes with that? Because again, that is the root to the power. That is the root to wisdom. Okay, so he purged that it may bring forth more fruit. Verse 3. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. Now, how you abide in the vine? Having faith in Yahushua, because he is the vine. Okay? You have access. Romans 5:1. I quote it all the time. Okay? Romans chapter 5, verse 1. You have access through faith in Yahushua. Therefore, you have peace with the Father. Okay? So you got to connect these things, man. It says, no more can ye except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit. Right, okay. For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. Right, no water, no wisdom. Okay, because your roots are dead. Your roots are dying. Your fear ain't there. Okay? And man gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. Okay? Whoo, you know what that's talking about. Okay? Unprofitable servant. You cast into that destruction and you get destroyed because you had no fear. Okay? You did not choose the fear of the Lord, like it says in Proverbs chapter 1. You did not choose the fear of the Lord. You despised the reproof. Okay? You despised the disapproval that Yahweh Bashim Shai had towards you, and you didn't correct it. Okay? All right? So it says, for without me you can do nothing. Verse 6, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and man gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. Right? You get that judgment of fire. Okay? Verse 7, if you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. And that is power. Do you understand that? Let's read that again in case Jake missed it. All right. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask. Key word, you shall ask in your prayers. Right. We talk about the prayers, piercing the clouds. Right. You shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. And that is power. Okay. And I think in John chapter 14, it speaks about Yahweh would do it if you believe with no doubt, right? To glorify his Father, Yahweh. All right. Oh, says it again in verse 8. See, it made me think about that because it's also in chapter 14 too. Verse 8. Herein is my Father glorified. So he says it again in this chapter, that you bear much fruit, so shall you be my disciples. But you cannot bear much fruit without the fear. Okay, you want to be a fruitful garden? Everything is blooming from every area. Get your fear of the Lord in check. Hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Verse 9, as the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Right. And it's talking about doing the will. Okay. The commandments of doing the will of Yahweh. Okay. It's not talking about you keep the law perfectly. I always have to bring that up because you have a Jake be totally confused. It's not talking about that you're justified by the law. Though we rehearse the righteous acts and we keep the law to the best of our ability. Okay. But this is talking about doing the will of the Father, man. Feeding the sheep, brotherly love, charity, alms, etc., etc. Okay? Just want to make that clear. The law is good, but we are not keeping the law perfectly, which is why we got to be changed. Okay, moving on. Just making that point. Verse 11, these things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Okay, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Right, man. Okay, the body of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. You're there for the body. You're sincere. Okay, verse 14. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth. Now, one of the things he told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. And he said it 3 times. That's a commandment. Yahweh Shai commanded him, if you love me, I command you to go feed my sheep. Preach this gospel in sincerity. Okay? Read it again. You are my friends. Now, that's powerful right there, man. All right? And Yahweh Shai, man, he protects his friends, man. Okay, with the army of heaven. Think about that. He protects his friends. You don't think he not going to protect his friends with the army of heaven that he is in control of? Come on now. If you do whatsoever I command you, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit. But you can't do that without the fear of the Lord. Okay? Yahweh Shai, he wants us to be fruitful, like a fruitful garden, like I read in the first scripture of this lesson. Okay? And that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, in Yahweh Shai, the mediator, man. Let's read that again. That whatsoever you shall ask, he's saying it again. He's letting us know this is power to be in this position. To fear the Lord is pure power. Okay? That whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, in Yahweh Shai, he may give it to you. Right. Okay, and I'll stop there through the Spirit, man. But as you see, going back to the first scripture, man, the fear of the Lord is as a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. So you want to glorify the Father? You want to do what Yahweh B'Shem Shai is commanding you to do? Okay? To bear that fruit, to be more fruitful? Okay, well then get your fear of the Lord on point. Be more fearful of what the Lord can do to you. All right? Really start thinking more, man. Acknowledge him in all your ways and all your goings, and he will direct your path. Through wisdom, through the power. So you can be fruitful, so you can glorify the Father in heaven, Yahweh. Okay, so with that, I hope you're edified. I want to give our praises and honor to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rakah, Kodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to Yaakam out there that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.